Here are some visualizations to help you better understand stress incontinence. Hi, Madeline Golick, pelvic health physiotherapist. Let's just define stress incontinence, which is when you have bladder leakage with coughing, sneezing, laughing, running, jumping, lifting, okay? So when the body's under a stress, there is bladder leakage. Okay, so this is my rubber chicken, and it helps us better understand stress incontinence because what's happening is when we're under stress, there's an increase in intra-abdominal pressure, which is basically an excess pressure that's put on the abdominal wall. So for example, if I cough, if I sneeze, if I bend, if I lift, if I jump, you can see that there is pressure being put on the floor, right? The pelvic floor. So why does stress incontinence happen? So if we imagine this blue band is the pelvic floor, okay? And generally speaking, before children, which typically is one of the bigger risk factors for developing stress incontinence, our pelvic floor is like a trampoline, right? It responds to that pressure. And when we haven't had children, that response is fairly quick. So I go on the trampoline, boom, I get a nice jump. The pelvic floor muscles are working effectively. After childbirth, for some of us, not all, we have a little bit more give in the system, okay? Meaning the pelvic floor has a memory of being stretched, and so it's a little bit easier for it to stretch under pressure. So now when I jump, you can see I don't get the same sort of rebound as I did prior to giving birth. So another way to think about it is the muscles around the urethra, when that pressure comes in, they sort of open, and by the time they rebound back into a contraction, the leak has already happened. Now, we can also develop stress incontinence because of pelvic floor tightness, meaning there's not enough movement in the pelvic floor to give that extra support in that increase in pressure. So individuals can experience stress incontinence without having had children, and it could be because of tightness. So if my pelvic floor is really wound up and I'm putting pressure on that pelvic floor, it doesn't have any more squeeze to give to match that extra pressure. So a tight pelvic floor can actually be a weak pelvic floor, and it may not be responsive because it's already like as closed as it can be, but that extra pressure coming in just goes boop, opens it, and by the time it has any opportunity to shift back, the leak has already happened. Of course, there could be more complexity to this, but hopefully the visualizations kind of give you an idea that the muscles need to be both flexible and strong, and may need some coordination training, meaning pre-activating before the stress response. Be sure to follow along my page for more.